Each and every Monday, we're attempting to give you a fresh perspective on the crypto market and dropping news around Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, or any token of significance over the last week. And of course, continuing to grow out our beard until Bitcoin price is above 250,000, or at the very least, Ethereum can catch up and get over $20,000. If you do enjoy the content today, give us a like and subscribe. Head over to that Twitter page at Macro Crypto Club. Like always, link will be down in the description. So jumping in some news around the space, Grayscale makes a fresh push for the SEC approval to become a Bitcoin ETF. The first spot ETF, that is, within the space for the United States. So Grayscale's maneuver comes as the SEC is deliberating over whether to give the go-ahead for U.S. exchange trade funds to hold Bitcoin specifically, rather than derivatives linked to the cryptocurrency for the first time. The regulator has said it will make a decision regarding Grayscale's application in early July at the latest. This will be a huge price driver, in my opinion, if this can get approved by July, grabbing the ability for a lot of capital that's on the sideline, direct access to Bitcoin. Now, this has already been spot ETFs around the world, such as Canada and Australia, just to name a few. But this is a huge win for crypto if the United States will add a spot ETF. And I don't see why they shouldn't, if we're being honest with one another. Now, also talking about some other good news surrounding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general is the Central African Republic reportedly passes a bill to regulate crypto use, meaning the new crypto law would reportedly allow citizens to pay their taxes in crypto, of course, because they want their money, and allow the use of crypto as a form of payment of businesses. So they're not making Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency legal tender within a nation like El Salvador, because the difference is, yes, businesses have the ability to choose whether they want to accept crypto or not, but in El Salvador, Bitcoin becoming legal tender, meaning businesses must accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. There is no ifs, and, or buts in regards to El Salvador making legal tender in their country. So also, on May 2nd and May 3rd, the FOMC will be meeting, which is the Federal Open Market Committee, about discussing rate hikes within the United States. And surprise, surprise, there's already news coming out that they are going to be raising it up by 50 basis points, 0.5%. Now, what this entails is it's going to be basically making it more challenging or more expensive at the end of the day to borrow money. And that also takes into effect some money that has already been borrowed over the previous years. So causing companies to unload their balance sheet and pay back instead of holding on to this cash. Now, you might not see this change rapidly take place, but as the more aggressive rate hikes that you start to see by the Fed as the year moves on, the more expensive that money that these companies borrowed or entities borrowed becomes. So the more quickly they might want to repay back what they originally borrowed years ago. Now, how this is going to affect the crypto market, by the way, is obviously if there's capital out there, fresh capital being poured into the crypto market, they might be trying to take that out to repay some of the debt that they originally borrowed against. And the cryptocurrency could be no different, because they could have been purchasing crypto and the crypto market in general, or using crypto as a form of revenue or profit on their original investment, and now using that to pay it back and taking money from the crypto market in general, and obviously causing a downtrend. Now, also, some news surrounding the Twitter space. If you've been under a rock, Twitter today was officially purchased by Elon Musk. I'm hugely in favor of this, free speech for all, but more importantly, how that affects the crypto market, or crypto Twitter, I should say, of course, Dogecoin. I don't personally own any, but this is massive for those who do own pieces of Doge. Does Doge become the tipping system of the Twitter ecosystem? But it's going to be fun to see how this operates, how this changes, how the space adapts, and what forms of blockchain gets adapted to the Twitter space itself. Now, some other news in regards to Real Vision. We're talking about Raoul Powell and we're going to let him chat a little bit for you here, giving you some more dire news about the space. I'm a little bit more bullish, but this is a more intelligent individual, and I'll let you hear from his mouth.
Hi everyone, just a very quick update from me. Look, the markets, I was expecting the markets to have found some sort of traction to the upside, and that failed. So my DMARC counts had failed. I haven't shared many of these with people, but I just thought the setup was getting concerning enough that I should put an update out over at Real Vision Daily Briefing. So what I've seen is that the market rejection of this recent rally has been fast and severe. What's really interesting is things like energy stocks have been slammed as well. Oil stopped going up, commodities are going down, the dollar's going up significantly, bond yields have stopped rising. If the Nasdaq breaks the recent low, it's forming a large head and shoulders top. You can see it on my Twitter feed where I've just written about this. If that is to go, then we've got a significant amount of downside to come in the coming weeks, and it feels like this rolls into the summer if that's the case, and we could have a sharp correlation of one sell-off where everything sells off at the same time and every position gets taken out and shot.
So the chart that he was discussing actually is right here in front of you, talking about the Nasdaq if it can go below that 13,000 mark, and this was 3 days ago when he posted this. Now it actually went below that mark and it rebounded for the time being. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, if his prediction does play out within itself, which hopefully it does not. I do want to remind you that this individual also was very bullish on the crypto space in general throughout the months of November, December, January, February, and that has started to change. So that sentiment changing might honestly give us a nice case for a bullish push. The more bearish news out there in the entire space across the board, we could maybe see the opposite effect taking place, very similar to when we were all too bullish and the opposite played out. But this is something that you want to keep in mind, that anything can happen, whether we're going bullish or we capitulate. Keep both options in your mind and don't over leverage yourself into the space one way or another. Now, plan B also kind of gives you a little bit more of a perspective. Anyone that's shouting out there and you come across the space talking about, oh, Bitcoin's going down to 15,000, it's not going to happen, at least in his opinion and mine. I'm right there with him just because I believe this individual over a lot of others, and his predictions have been very accurate over time. Has had some wrong predictions, like how the end of 2021 was going to play out, but we can't win them all, right? So what this was basically looking at is the 200-week moving averaging, and also in the correlation with the realized capital or price, realized price of Bitcoin. Now, what we've noticed here is basically you'll see that outlier, that blue dot all the way on the far right. That's where the 15,000 mark would be, going well below the 200-week moving average, and in the coming months, that would be extremely difficult to happen. Never has it happened in the course of Bitcoin's entire existence has it gone that far below the 200-week moving average, and it would have to be a blue dot. Now, here's the thing also to look at. Now, whether this was Plan B or Will Clemente or someone smart out there on that crypto Twitter, that anytime that realized cap also touches the 200-week moving average, as you start to see that on the very edge there, we are in for a bull run soon after. Now, if you saw it back at the end or at the beginning of 2016 here, you see those two meet, and then it extends right over for the next 2 years, a nice bullish trend. Now, this happens again back in 2020, which you'll notice from 2020 all the way till currently, we were in a very bullish trend as well. So now these two meeting up again, how this plays out in the coming months or over the next couple of years, that's going to be an exciting approach, but I'm not worried about the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum in the coming months, but we could see capitulation, but after that, we'll be all right if we're being honest with one another. Now, getting outside of the whole Bitcoin crypto or our whole Bitcoin Ethereum idea, jumping into Apecoin. If you've noticed that the price of Apecoin has really shot off over the last couple of weeks, is primarily because of a land drop that is anticipated to happen, or at least a land sale as well, at the end of April. Now, why this is important for Apecoin in general is because it's anticipated that Apecoin will be able to be used as a purchasing power for the land sale itself. There's also speculation that Ethereum or Ether will also be accepted. Now, that's a wait and see approach, but I wouldn't really think about too much to get into purchasing or buying Ape, even if you're not going to buy land at this time. This is all up to you and all speculation, of course, because so much has already fed into the price. After the land sale itself, it would be wise to see how that price is dictated and changed. And there will be a second land sale, though, in August. So if there's a huge dump on the price of Ape right after the land sale, might be a good time to pick up before that sale in August later this year. Now, also some news around the Coinbase NFT market itself. Dropped its beta. Now, this is starting to look very similar to some social media platforms. You're able to comment on NFTs. A lot different approach than what OpenSea currently has. I'm still discovering different things around this space, testing it out, seeing if I really like the Coinbase NFT. Really didn't bring in a lot of capital as of yet to the NFT market. But of course, we got to see how this rolls out. And once this beta is finished and what the final product looks like, will be some exciting news within the crypto space or NFTs in general. Also, the Ethereum Shadow Fork 2.0 was live this past weekend and it was a success. So that is good news for the merge. That's in anticipation that sooner or later, this merge is going to go into some of their test nets like we discussed in last week's video, and that's going to lead them to that Ethereum merge or the triple halvening and a price discovery that Ethereum has never seen before once that merge takes place, or at least that's what I am anticipating. Now, to understand that the merge with proof of stake would be the most profound upgrade to the Ethereum to date, second only to the Genesis block in importance. This will be an example of how a major decentralized system can actually eliminate its carbon footprint. One of the keys to the merge of the testing of the Ethereum mainnet shadow fork. After Ethereum's first mainnet shadow fork on April 11th, the Ethereum mainnet shadow fork 2 went smoothly on April 23rd. Note, the shadow fork refers to adding a merge-related fields to the network for fork to simulate stress testing in existing network environment. So this was just to get a stress test and it passed with flying colors. The last one, the previous one that happened on April 11th, had a few bugs. They fixed it. Now they are all good and all green lights pointing to a Q3 Ethereum merge. Now, checking out some of the Bitcoin price. Currently right now we are getting some beautiful price action with Bitcoin being around $40,000 or $40,500. And we would eventually, of course, love to see Bitcoin get above 43,000 to get above this bearish bull market, whatever kind of band you wanted to call it. When we're under it, bearish. When we're over it, bullish. But those are the types of numbers that you want to start to see. If we can get over $43,000 worth of Bitcoin, then we might, and sustain it, of course, start to see more of a bullish sentiment. But currently right now, we did get rejected. Are we in for some hurt in the coming weeks? I really do hope not, but there's a lot of sentiment out there that this is going to be the case. Now, lastly, we do want to discuss Bitcoin's price. We did add $100, of course, to our dollar cost average tool on April 25th, and this is the last time we'll dollar cost average for the month of April, as the month of May will start next week. So currently right now we are in the red for the amount of Bitcoin we have purchased since the beginning of this year. But I do want to say of that $1,600 we've used on a weekly basis, we are still roughly just above $1,500. So it's not like we're too far off, but we're collecting Bitcoin for the future. We almost have 4 million Satoshis when we collect weekly with $100 and almost 1 million Satoshis when we collect monthly with $100. just putting a nice $100 allocation on a monthly or weekly basis. It's all up to you. Maybe you're throwing $1,000 into Bitcoin each and every week, but this way you can at least follow us, see how much Bitcoin we can collect with time. Now I'm just going to leave you with this video. This was posted by Will Clemente, and it was something I just thoroughly enjoyed. Sorry about that. Hedge. I hope you enjoy that as much as I did. And until next time, everyone, peace.